Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Clueless 8 again, and now is the time to go over a bunch of stock charts that we normally cover, stocks that we normally trade. Let's take a first look at Netflix. Okay, so here's a chart of Netflix. We're looking at things on a very short-term basis. I've explained very clearly in the clearest terms that I believe that we have a quick, sharp pullback in the offing in the next 24 to 48 hours, and I believe that's what's going to happen. Now, saying all that, in the case of Netflix, let's take a look to see what could happen. At this point in time, we're playing for very short term. It could be hours, it could be minutes, or it could be maximum a day. So saying all that, in the case of Netflix, let me get my drawing tool out here. I believe that what we're going to see is Netflix is going to try to get towards the 488 level. So I'm really scalping here for got in around the 480 level or slightly below, and I'm really looking for anywhere to 5 to 8 points. Keep the options on a weekly basis close to your vest and move fast when you have some profits. The downside I've clearly shown is going to be the retest of the rising 34 or the rising 50. And those would be around this level which I've shown before, which would be around 479, so give or take 2 or 3 points. Otherwise, we get to the top of this channel here around 488. We could get 490. If we do burst loose above 490, then of course 500 is the magnet, which would be fantastic on the weekly calls. Netflix weekly calls are very elastic. They tend to move, pay the bills. You just have to the right side of the track, and and again, you have to be somewhat disciplined. Don't play too big, play small amounts, and those could turn into much larger amounts. But at the same time, keep in mind they're very fast moving, so they have a tendency to basically shake nervous traders out. So that's basically it. Worst case scenario, if things really break down, you're not going to be sitting around for it, but it could go as low as 464, test the bottom of the channel, and possibly bounce from there. So that's Netflix for you. Let's take a look at what was the other one that we're looking at? VRX. Okay, so the chart of VRX is a typical consolidative type of chart here. This is very similar to what I've seen in the ISRGs, in PCYC, in Athena Healthcare. Again, this is a Ackman play. The hedge fund manager, he's forcing Allergan to have a board meeting to see whether or not there's enough votes there for a hostile takeover of Allergan by VRX, Valiant Pharmaceuticals, which is a more of a consolidative umbrella type of company. They buy all these different companies within their umbrella, and they've been very successful in doing that. The earnings have been accretive to that matter, over a period of time when they do these acquisitions. So saying all that, let me just draw out the squiggle line here. We do, if we break below, let's say 114 around this level, then things start to get weak around, let's say 114. At that point, we have this particular level come into play, but otherwise we could very easily come down a few points, maybe 90 cents, maybe $1, and from there could very well bounce. So again, just keeping in mind that this is not necessarily market dependent. This is a boardroom play in action, and you got a very powerful player who believes that who basically has put money into Valiant and is pushing to get the deal done with Allergan. So I'm still looking at this level here. I took a little bit of profits. I took some of the profits on Friday on the move up. This was a consolidative action today, nothing to really write home about. And I still believe that this level and this gap that I've shown a few times is in play. Okay, so let's take a look now at Athena, if I can find it. And if I can find it, I got to put that in. So Athena Healthcare, the drawings on that should be over. Okay, so here's Athena Healthcare. It's still within the box, as you can see it. Nothing's really changed. We do have one positive development here on the weekly. The histograms are getting bigger, so that's important. Okay, minor stuff. Look, when the histograms start to get bigger, they normally last for about 3 weeks or so. This being a weekly chart. Okay, weekly. So if that's the case, then we have a little bit more to go here, maybe another week or two. So on that point, we could very well get towards the 156 level, which would be really nice. And again, these type of things tend to move fast, so you have to keep on watching this and put alerts and stuff on your screens. Again, don't get too heavy, but so far this pattern that I've identified from a while ago could very well come into play, and that'll be actually a lottery ticket. If that happens, then we're just going to shoot straight up towards the 180 level. Excuse me. And who knows, But so far internals are fine. This is exciting here, and I like this. I just noticed it actually. So this is a crossover of the MACD, the MACD 1226.9, the 9-day moving average, exponential moving average, and look what happened last time that happened here. So every time this has happened, and this is the most common, I would say, from a standpoint of similarity, pattern symmetry, I would say it would be these two and these two. And look what happened every time that happened. Okay, so we still have a bunch of points to go. These generally connotate good things, these type of crossovers, internal crossovers. So let's keep that in mind. This is good. And if this crossover continues, these histograms are going to keep on getting bigger. That means you're going to get you could get like your 20 points from here, which would be fantastic. All right, let's take a look at PCYC. And again, these are in the long-term swing accounts, so I don't really look at them that much. I have the alerts in place, and very happy with the performance. So PCYC is exactly here right now. We are somewhat overbought, no question about it. Histograms are peaking at around 12, and let me get my drawing tool out here. So again, pattern symmetry says that it can get up to about 132, which would be nice. Top of the channel right here. This is a consolidated flag, and I would love to see this. This is on a weekly basis again, longer term. I'd like to see this 34 cross over the 50, and that could very well happen over the next couple of days. So still overbought somewhat. Internals are good on the weekly, so wouldn't be surprised if we come down and test this 110 level or so, or even 115, 114. So nothing to get panicked about, but let's keep a close eye on this. Okay, so far so good. All right, let's take a look at one of my favorites here, which is Stratasys. Hot sector right now, based on Meg Whitman's comments that HP might be looking to enter the specialized 3D printing market. So instead of inventing their own wheel, they'll basically go ahead and try to maybe look at some of these players. So this one, I'm still thinking that gets to, after a bit of a consolidation, I'd like to, it's 110. Now I have some of this in my book, so took a little bit off the table this morning. As I posted, I took 80% of the trading long profits off the table. So that's some nice little bump here, so I wouldn't be surprised if it comes on, test the 110, 111 level, but I still think it gets here. Again, it could come as low as touching the 34 and the 50, which would be around 108, where I'd be a pretty strong buyer, because that also would be testing this downward slope, the downtrend breakout. Wouldn't be surprised, standard procedure for it to come down, and for it to come down, do this, and then move up. All right, let's take a look at Priceline. Did extremely well with this, and what can I say? You had to follow me on this play, and you would be a very happy camper. So at this point, I'm out of Priceline, as I mentioned, and I'm looking for I wouldn't mind looking for entry around the 1270 level. If this breaks down the 1274, then we're in trouble. Then we're looking at 1260 again. All right, so let's see what happens over the next 24 to 48 hours. But at this point in time, Priceline is a no-go for me till I see some sort of consolidation at these levels here. Okay, I did call the stock around 1260, and so that was quite a move from there, right? So that's that's basically that's Priceline, and this is just one variation of the charts. All my other charts are there for everyone to see on the real-time Twitter feed, as well as the daily charts that I post. Let me move on to the next video cast.